Savitri was passing through the night of God. Then she suddenly sees the day coming like a priest of sacrifice of joy. And as the day comes, she remembers the old thing, as if an old remembered dream come true. She recognizes in her prophetic mind the imperishable luster of the sky. And she is closer now to the mystic cavern of her soul, the cavern in the sacred hill, and knew the dwelling of her secret soul, as if in some Elysian occult depth, truth's last retreat from thought's profaning touch. Now this is the position, this is the place beyond which what exists is only truth, and no thought can touch and spoil it, can violate its purity, can disfigure it. Truth's last retreat from thought's profaning touch, as if in a rock temple's solitude hid. It is a sacred hill, and in the sacred hill there is a rock temple carved in the rock of the hill. As if in a rock temple's solitude hid, God's refuge from an ignorant, worshipping world. It is there God is residing, away from the ignorant world. Ignorant world cannot go and disfigure it, spoil it. Ignorant was, it lay withdrawn even from life's inner sense. It has become inaccessible. It is inaccessible even to the inner sense of life. So thought cannot reach, life's inner sense cannot reach. It lay withdrawn even from life's inner sense, receding from the estranged heart's desire. No feeling, no emotion can touch it, no thought can reach it. A marvelous brooding twilight met the eyes, or Savitri sees the twilight world there. A marvelous brooding twilight met the eyes, and a holy stillness held that voiceless space. An awful dimness wrapped the great rock doors. The rock doors are covered, wrapped by an awful dimness. In other words, they look very dim as Savitri approaches to the doors. An awful dimness wrapped the great rock doors, carved in the massive stone of matter's trance. These are the doors which have been cut into matter, and therefore they are massive, therefore they are also dim. It is through this door that Savitri is now entering into the cave where dwells her soul. An awful dimness wrapped the great rock doors, carved in the massive stone of matter's trance. On the door, two golden serpents round the lintel curd. This is the lintel of the door is here, this is the lintel, and on that lintel, what does she see? That there are two golden serpents curling around it. Two golden serpents around the lintel curl, enveloping it with a pure and dreadful strength. They are powerful, but at the same time pure. In other words, One who is weak cannot enter into that door. One who is not pure, he cannot enter to that door at all. Two golden serpents round the lintel curl, enveloping it with their pure and dreadful strength, looked out with wisdom's deep and luminous eyes. It is these serpents which are not deceptive as you have in the vital world, but when they are on the doors of the temple in which lives the soul, they are pure, they are strong, and they are full of wisdom. Their eyes are luminous. Two golden serpents round the lintel curl, enveloping it with their pure and dreadful strength, looked out with wisdom's deep and luminous eyes. This is what we have on the lintel of the door. Two serpents there. And above that, an eagle covered it with white conquering wings. There is a huge, big, lustrous, bright, powerful eagle which is standing there with conquering wings. Eagle and serpents, they are enemies. But here, on the door leading into the soul, into the temple of the soul, what we have, they are not enemies here at all. They are living together, the eagle and the serpent. An eagle, insignia of majesty, of power. That is what the eagle is. An eagle conquered it with white conquering, covered it with white conquering wing, flames of self-lust, immobile reverie. Doves crowded the grey musing cornices like sculptured postures of white-bosomed peace. So you have the serpents, you have the eagle, and there are doves, birds of peace, of quiet, of silence, so to say also. Doves crowded the grey musing cornices like sculptured postures of white-bosomed peace. There is peace because of the white doves there. Across the thresholds asleep, she entered in. Savitri is now entering through this door to find her soul within. Across the thresholds asleep, she entered in and found herself amid great figures of gods. Savitri is entering into the inner courtyard of the temple. She has crossed the door, Matter's door, and she is now in the main courtyard of the temple. Across the thresholds asleep, she entered in and found herself amid great figures of God, conscious in stones and living without breath. These gods are carved in the rock there. They are in stones. They are not breathing, but at the same time they are conscious of their power, of what they are. They are fully conscious of that. In fact, that is what Sri Aurobindo experienced when he went to a temple in Baroda, Chandod. He saw the living presence of a goddess in the deity where he had gone there. Across the thresholds sleep, she entered in and found herself amid great figures of gods. There are all gods there, Indra, Varuna, Agni, Vayu, all the gods are carved in stones there. Herself amid great figures of God, conscious in stone and living without breath. Watching with fixed regard the soul of man. And what are these gods doing? They are watching the soul of man. executive figures of the cosmic self. They are the ones who carry out the work of the cosmic self in the manifestation here, in the universe here. Executive figures of the cosmic self, world symbols of immutable potency. They are the figures. They are holding all the power, all the possibilities of this world, immutable potency of this world. On the walls, on the temple walls, courtyard walls there, on the walls, covered with significant shapes, looked at her the life scene of man and beast. So in the temple, you have got walls, and there are life scenes of man and beast, of animals, of this creation, and a high meaning of the life of gods, the power and necessity of these numberless worlds and faces of beings and stretches of world space, spoke the succinct and inexhaustible hieratic message of the climbing plains. Now, the significant shapes on the walls of the temple, they are telling her what they are there for, what they are doing here in this world. They are not just paintings, they are living presences, they are living possibilities also, and a high meaning of the life of gods, what these gods are here for. The power and necessity of these numberless worlds. Why these countless worlds? The whole hierarchy of worlds, starting from matter all the way up to the superconscient realms. There are worlds and worlds and worlds. We say Saptaloka, we say Saptapatala. What is the meaning of these Saptalokas? What are they for? Are they redundant? Is not earth sufficient to give whatever has to be got here? Is earth not sufficient? What is the necessity of these countless worlds, these numberless worlds? In fact, the same question can be asked in terms of the astronomical understanding of our universe. We have a small little planet Earth, but then there are millions and millions of stars. What is the necessity of those stars? Are they serving any purpose in this creation? Is there any meaning in their existence? Or we simply watch them helplessly without understanding the necessity of their presence in the sky all around us. What is the necessity of this numberless worlds? The world of mind, the world of life, the world of matter. In fact, not world of matter, worlds of matter, worlds of life, worlds of mind, worlds of spiritual mind, worlds of knowledge, worlds of joy, worlds of beauty. What are they there for? Is there any connection with this earth? This is what Savitri is saying, that they are there, but they are also telling, yes, they are there for a purpose. The power and necessity, that is important. Without their presence there, things cannot happen here. The power and necessity of the numberless world and faces of beings and stretches of world space spoke the succinct and inexhaustible hieratic message. She is understanding the message they are conveying, the precise, the exact message, which is also sacred. She is understanding of the climbing plane, the ascending slopes of heaven. That is what the Vedic Rishi says. These ascending slopes of heaven. What is the purpose of that? Ascending. Yes, it is for the purpose of ascension that these countless worlds are present. In their immensitude, shining infinity, They were the extension of the self of God. These countless worlds, these numberless worlds, are themselves the extension of the self of God Himself. They were the extension of the self of God and housed impassively, receiving all His figure and His small and mighty acts, and His passion and His birth and life and death. All this they are able to tell what they are for. And the passion and His birth and the life and the, His figures and in their immense, I think you're about that. In their immensitude, shining infinity, they were the extension of the self of God and housed impassively receiving all His figures and His small and mighty acts and His passion and His birth and life and death and His return to immortality. Yes, God has taken birth here. His passions, His life instincts, they are all there here. He undergoes to the process of birth and death. For what? To return to immortality. That is why this whole hierarchy there, these ascending slopes are for that purpose. To the abiding and eternal, either climb. What is here transient? What is here only for a moment, which keeps on constantly changing? Their concern is to reach what is abiding, which is enduring, which will always stay. To the abiding and eternal is the climb. To the pure existence everywhere the same. To the sheer consciousness and the absolute force and the unimaginable and formless bliss. To the mirth in time and the timeless mystery of the triune being who is all and one, and yet is no one but Himself apart. What is the purpose of this world? To the abiding, which is eternal above, it is to that they are climbing. To the pure existence, consciousness, force, bliss. They are climbing to the Satchidananda realms, to the worlds of Satchidananda, existence, consciousness, bliss, Satchitananda. To the pure existence everywhere the same, to the sheer consciousness and absolute force, Chit Shakti, Sat Chit Shakti, and the unimaginable and formless bliss, Ananda. To the mirth in time, for what? To the happiness in time, to the mirth in time, and the timeless mystery of the triune being, triune again, Satchitananda, who holds in Him all these three, and at the same time, who is alone, who is also present everywhere. To the abiding and eternal is their climb of these innumerable worlds. The climb of these innumerable worlds is their climb. To the pure existence, everywhere the same, in the sheer consciousness and the absolute form, and the unimaginable and formless bliss, to the mirth in time and the timeless mystery of the triune being who is all and one, and yet is no one but Himself apart.